Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today on the Goldeyes Show. I'm your host, Theo Tutkaluk with Amateur Sports TV. We're going to be heading to Shaw Park here in a couple of minutes to discuss the beginning of the season so far for the Winnipeg Goldeyes. The first 7 games on the road, taking on the Texas Air Hogs and just finishing up in Claiborne a couple days ago. They will now face a 3-game set with the Kansas City T-Bones, last year's AA champions, and this year they are sitting atop their division with a 4-1 record. The Goldeyes sit 5-2 as well, having lost just 1 game, and that is their streak thus far. The T-Bones have won 3 in a row, and it should be a pretty good matchup throwing their 1, 2, and 3 pitchers at this Goldeyes roster, who, quite frankly, has hit the ball very well at the right times. We'll hopefully sit down with Batter of the Week, Kevin Lachance, who is the Swiss Army of the Winnipeg Goldeyes, his first year, coming from Virginia, playing out of Maryland. Look forward to sitting down with him and talking to him for a couple of minutes to see what it's like for his first season as a Winnipeg Goldeye. As well, we'll try to hook up with one of the veterans, either Reggie Abercrombie or a good friend of the show, Josh Romansky. We'll sit down with either one of those to understand what it's like being a veteran and leader on this team and how powerful their outfield is, not only with the arms and adding Willie Garcia, but also with the hitting and the great opportunity they have with 4 great outfielders, having one of them being DH each and every game and rotating through. So that's something new for the Goldeyes this year. Should be very interesting, but as well as a key component for the health and the strength for the Goldeyes this upcoming outfield. And as well, we'll sit down with Andrew Collier, 26 years with the Goldeyes, and looking forward to another ring to add to his illustrious career as Goldeyes GM. So come and join us. We'll be back momentarily. Thanks for joining us here on ASTV and the Goldeyes Show.
The 4 Points by Sheraton, Winnipeg South. Conveniently located on South Pembina Highway near the Trans-Canada Bypass and 1 hour from the U.S. border crossing. Offering a saltwater pool, hot tub, 24-hour fitness center, restaurant, and lounge.
Tutkaluk here with the Goldeyes Show, standing here with first star of the week, week 1, Kevin Lachance. Kevin, how was the first week for you playing in a Goldeyes uniform?
It was good. It was a lot of fun. Playing good baseball and just want to keep it up.
You are one of those Swiss Army knife kind of guys. You play all the different sports or all the different positions in the infield. What is the one you look forward to most and more comfortable with?
Shortstop, for sure. That's what I've grown up playing my whole life. That's the one that I probably take the most pride in, but I also enjoy moving around a little bit and getting to play all over the place.
For sure. So tell me about the early days playing ball, where you grew up, and why you attracted yourself to playing baseball as opposed to other sports.
I grew up in Northern Virginia playing all sorts of sports, mainly baseball, basketball, but fell in love with baseball. Been playing it my whole life, and it's just what I love to do.
Fabulous. So college was in Virginia or near Virginia?
In Maryland, awesome. About an hour north.
Perfect. So right on. Shortstop, batting .500 in the first several games. That's pretty impressive. And obviously deserving of the first star of the week. Tell me what it's like playing against teams on the road at first, beginning the season as opposed to starting at home. Do you notice a difference?
A little bit, just like the preparation and everything. The routine before the game is a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same. It's not too bad.
The team has definitely got on to a great start, leading the division so far in first place. I know it's beginning of the season compared to what happened last year. What are your aspirations for the first 4 or 5 games here at home? What do you want to do for the fans?
Just want to try and win games. Like you said, we're off to a good start. I think we got a really good team, and just want to kind of keep it rolling, win some ball games.
Definitely have the hitting in the right times and the right places this year. I mean, knocking off 4 or 5 hits at an inning, taking over the lead, holding on to the lead this year. With the pitching, what part of the hitting aspect of the game has really exploded this offense thus far?
I think we just got a bunch of really good players, and I think that we're putting together good at-bats, and like you said, putting together multiple good at-bats in an inning, and we've been able to score some runs, and pitching's done a nice job so far.
Excellent, Kevin. So we're going to ask you a couple of funny questions now because, we're going to make it a little bit lighter than normal. So pre-game meal, what's your go-to meal 3 or 4 hours before the game?
Whatever's in the clubhouse.
So clubhouse is what it is. So today we got some sandwiches rolling around, I see. Are you more of a water guy, Gatorade guy? What do you like to drink normally throughout the game?
Usually water.
Good for you. Okay, so hydration is key, obviously, especially in the summertime. Those Virginia days, they can be 85 and 85, right? 85 degrees, 85% humidity, they get pretty hot.
Yeah, it gets pretty hot.
A little bit drier here, so that's okay. Growing up, Shortstop, is that your favorite position, and who did you emulate as you were growing up?
Yeah, shortstop was a position since I was little. A couple of guys I looked up to, growing up a Red Sox fan, looked up to Nomar, Dustin Pedroia coming up, another middle infielder, Troy Tulowitzki is another one. There were plenty of guys to look up to.
So definitely on the East Coast. I mean, for Canadians, we have the Blue Jays and the Expos. But when you have teams in the South, there's a lot more attrition and a lot more players to choose from. One last question I got to ask you. When it comes to playing ball, what is the best thing about being on the field?
Just the competitiveness. Just getting out there and competing, trying to win ball games. It's something I love doing.
Okay, one more last question. How many times have you watched Bull Durham?
A few.
A few?
Yeah.
You have a favorite line?
Reggie.
The mound visit scene.
The mound visit scene?
Yeah.
The wedding scene where they're picking out who they got to play? Mm-hmm. Kevin Lachance, first star of the week, first batter of the week, week 1. Come check out the Goldeyes. I know it's a little bit rainy today, but nonetheless, taking on Kansas City. First home weekend. Look forward to seeing you at Shaw Park. Thanks for joining us, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
If you take the first mortgage you're offered, a high interest rate could take your travel budget and send it packing. Before you choose a mortgage, take a second look. Get serious about your mortgage. Contact Caisse Financial Group today. If you take the biggest mortgage you can get, you might find your budget can't support other important costs, like buying furniture. Don't let your mortgage weigh you down. Get serious about your mortgage. Contact Caisse Financial Group today.
Is outfielder Josh, Josh Romanski, Romanski, veteran with the Winnipeg Goldeyes. Here we go. Here on the Goldeyes show here with veteran of the Goldeyes. It's second stint with the Goldeyes because you took a little bit of a break and came back, but you were back last, fourth stint now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've missed a couple. Josh Romanski, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for stopping by, or me stopping by, talking with you. How about the start of this year compared to last year? I mean, on the road, 5-2, a lot of excitement. The main thing I've noticed, tell me if I'm wrong, is the consistent batting and the key batting at the right times. Can you comment on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to get off to a good start. And you try to just hold pace. But we had some really good individual performances on the first road trip, and like you said, a lot of big hits, and 2-out hits, especially for RBIs. Those win ball games. So anytime you can get any of those, it's huge for the club, and 5-2 on the road. That's all you can ask for.
321 batting average, second on the team. I mean, Kevin's lighting it up like a Christmas tree right now in the middle of May. And it's good to see him batting because he's a first-timer with the Goldeyes. What have you seen from his game that's impressed you the most?
Honestly, everything, man. The guy's just been such an awesome surprise, and just has super quick hands at the plate. And he plays the game hard, which is what I like. Because I play the game the same way. He's probably a little more athletic than I am. Being probably about 7 years younger than I am. But no, he's he's a great guy, good clubhouse guy. Keeps to himself, and what I can tell so far is he really works hard. He's a hard worker, so that usually translates into into on-field performance. So I'm looking for big things from him moving forward.
So we talk about on-field performance here. Your outfield. If there was one word to describe it, I would say stellar. Yourself, Reggie, Willie, and you've got a fourth in there too. You can rotate at will. And not only just great outfielding, but the hitting.
Yeah.
Power.
Yeah.
I mean, having Willie come from the Chicago program, you came from that program as well, I believe, back in the day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, tell me about the offense that's going to be coming from the outfield.
Well, I think the key is having 4, right? Because now we have the opportunity to rotate 4 outfielders consistently, give one guy a DH spot here and there, keep the legs fresh. And, it's a nice luxury to have, and instead of, having 3 guys that are running 100 games and, maybe down the stretch in August or early September, might be catching some fatigue. I don't think that's going to be a problem for us this year. So, like Skip always says, it's nice to have those options, and it's going to keep guys fresh for sure.
That's right. I mean, you have the 4 and the 3 spots, definitely a help for you, especially. I mean, you love playing the outfield.
Yeah,
You're great at playing, shagging balls and checking those out. What do you notice? Like, is it the crack of the bat? Are you able to notice the sound off the bat to know how far or how deep? Like, when you sit and you hear that, and you're like, oh, I got to backpedal or I got to rush in.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it gets tough, but the sound of the bat actually is one of the things that you listen for, and just the main thing is the trajectory off the bat, right? If it's hit high in the air, there's a good chance that you're not going to have to be sprinting back. But if it comes off on more of a line, then there's a chance you might have to get back to the wall. So it all depends, and that also depends on what position you're playing too, and whether or not there's a right-handed hitter up or a left-handed hitter up. You're getting different spins off the bat. So there's a lot that goes into it, but our outfield core as a group is a good group. I'm excited about it.
So you played outfield most of your life.
Yeah.
Growing up, who did you watch as a youngster and saying, I want to be just like this person?
Ken Griffey Jr.
I was just going to say.
I mean, is there a better guy to watch than that? With the swing and, the outfield. And obviously he ran into some injuries there in the middle of his career, which, was heartbreaking at the time. But, I mean, the kid was one of the best to ever do it. So
He truly was. I mean, without injury, he could have been probably the best hitter of all time.
I mean, I think you could still make an argument for that. I mean, 660 home runs, career 300 average. I mean, and I mean, was there anybody that made baseball sexy better than that guy, right? I mean, with that swing and everything else. So, I mean, Griffey was my guy, but I also enjoy watching Derek Jeter too. He was another one, but Griffey was an outfielder, and that's why I was drawn to him.
He also played right field and center field, did he not?
Griffey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was center field most of his career. I think toward the end he might have moved over to the corner, but I mean, when he was young, he could really go get it. So he was the guy.
I mean, you talk about sexy ball outside of KG. You got to say Bo Jackson would be pretty special too. So.
Yeah, he was a little before me. Yeah. But the way that guy popped out of a uniform,
that was impressive, nonetheless. I mean, I got to ask you a couple of quick things personally. When you play outfield, what's the one thing you would teach most outfielders growing up? The one fundamental. I mean, you talk about a lot of them. It's the crack of the bat. It's that first step back. Yeah. It's the assessing how the ball is hit off. It's a line driver. If it's up in the air. What's the first couple of things you have to realize as an early outfielder in the game to really hone those skills on?
First step back. That's the first thing you learn in the outfield is first step back, because if you take the first step back, then you can adjust and come in. If you take the first step in and it ends up being over your head, now you've given up an extra base hit and people are running the bases, and you're not going to like what you hear from the coach coming in. So always first step back, take a drop step, and then adjust from there.
So Josh, starting on the road versus coming home now, playing Kansas City. They were a pretty good team this year. They're coming off 3 wins here right now, having a 3-winning streak. What do you like to see, and what would you like to do for the fans here at home for the first weekend?
I mean, obviously, home opener is a big weekend for us. In the past, we've played really well at Shaw Park. So, Kansas City's got a good ball club, but they're coming into Shaw Park, and we play really well here, especially for those 2 championship runs. We were pretty lights out at home. So, they're throwing their arms at us. I think they got their 1-2-3 going, so it'll more than anything, it'll be a good challenge for us. But we just want to play some good baseball.
Coming off a back-to-back championship season, and then last year having a bit of a setback, do you feel like the target is now off your back, and you're able to now perform with a little bit less, not anxiety, but a little bit less stress on you, feeling that they're coming at you? Now you can go at them, and you can go get them even more.
Maybe a little bit, but to be honest with you, that's one thing they tell us when you first put a Goldeyes uniform on is it doesn't matter what happens. People are gonna know in this league the Goldeyes are gonna be one of the teams that you're gonna have to show up to play. So unfortunately, with the success that they've had here, I don't think that's an option anymore to not be targeted. But we accept the challenge just like any other year, and I think it's been a sense of pride for us, especially since I've been here to. Go out and accept that challenge and say, yeah, we are the target, but come get some, So, and like I said, Shaw Park, you're going to have to come in here and play some good baseball.
That's good to hear. We love you having you here at Shaw Park. Goldeyes taking on Kansas City this weekend. 3-game series.
3-game series.
There we go. A little bit of rain, but that's not going to hurt us. We'll see what happens. Josh, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Theo.
Awesome. Manager of the Winnipeg Goldeyes, Andrew, Andrew Collier, Collier. Correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Joining me now is the man, the myth, the brains of the Winnipeg Goldeyes, General Manager Andrew Collier. Thank you for joining us on the first inaugural Goldeyes show. How exciting are you for tonight's game?
Very excited. 26th season, ready to get it going.
Fantastic, and a great start on the road. I mean, 5-2, pretty well, a good start, if any.
Yeah, 5-2, we'll take it. You know what? You're hoping to win every game, but as they always say, if you go 500 on the road, 750 at home, you'll be all right. And we got off to a good start down there.
Absolutely. So you took on the Texas team, and then Cleveland shortly thereafter. Kansas City comes into Winnipeg, playing at Shaw Park for a 3-game opener. Pretty decent team last year, pretty decent team this year. Should be a very exciting 3-game homestand.
Should be. They had a very good team last year, and it looks like Joe has put together another good squad, and I know Rick has put together a good team, so it should be a good 3-game series.
What have you noticed as some of the highlights of the team in the short 7 games they've played on the road so far?
You know what? Pitching has been solid. Defense has been solid. We're getting key 2-out hits. Just everything you want. And it'll be interesting to see how they do in the colder weather here as opposed to down in Texas.
Absolutely. So a little warmer down south, of course. Not the greatest of weather right now. Shouldn't dampen the spirits of any of the fans showing up tonight. What can you say about the newcomers that have come in? I mean, let's first talk about Kevin Lachance. I mean, he's hitting 500. He was first batter of the week, opening week. He's really taken this Swiss Army knife approach to the Goldeyes organization very well.
Well, it's great to have a guy with that kind of versatility that can play all over the field. And the hot start, it's been great. I just hope we can keep it going. And, it's been great to have him on the team.
So I went over last week with Steve with regards to the roster positions and having a 50-50 split, or pretty close to, between pitchers and positional spots on the team. How far will that go for this group of guys this year, and having, that group of pitchers, and more notably a lot more right-handed pitchers than left-handed pitchers?
That's a good question for Rick. He and Tom put the squad together, and they will determine righties versus lefties and what the split is between position players and pitchers. I know they like the even split, usually 12 pitchers, 11 position guys. Just so you have a couple guys on the bench that can come in or give guys the rest that they need. And then having 12 pitchers, that gives you more versatility in the bullpen.
So what around Shaw Park is new to the 2019 summer?
Little Pizza Heaven is here now. We got more local food. We pride ourselves on having a lot of local here. Craft Beer Corner in its second year. We're going to have 5 more craft breweries here from Manitoba. So a total of 10 craft breweries in addition to Labatt and Fort Garry. So Craft Beer Corner is definitely a place to go. We have pie and ice cream on the concourse now. So for those out there that like a piece of pie while they're watching a ball game, that's on the concourse. So should be neat. Fans should take a walk on the concourse and see what's new.
Absolutely. So Shaw Park tonight, 7 o'clock, 7:05. First pitch, Kansas City. Look forward to a great season, Andrew. Thank you for bringing baseball and keeping baseball amazing here at Shaw Park with this group of guys. And good luck to your son's team as well.
Thank you.
Right on. This is Theo Tutkaluk with Amateur Sports TV, the Goldeyes Show, brought to you by everyone here. And thank you for Shaw Park.